Hi, I'm Secondhand from Archery Supplies, and today we're going to look at the Hoyt Pro Edge Elite compound bow. Now this is a second-hand bow. It was made in 2014. It's 35 inches axle to axle, 7-inch brace height, and in its day in 2014 this retailed for $2,500. It was said to be a target bow, and Hoyt produced this bow as a target bow for someone looking for a shorter 35-inch bow without the vibration of jumping forward that their target bows had. So what this bow had, it had the old, because now Hoyt have replaced it to the Gordon glass limbs, it had the old laminate Hoyt limbs. So on the new Hoyts you'll see more compression on their limbs. You'll see these limbs have less. These are the laminated limbs that Hoyt used to claim these things were the greatest things since sliced bread. These limb dampeners have been replaced, so it's a bar with these things on here, so when the limbs hit it, it basically reduced some of the vibration. These things were replaced. Bottom dampener here. Now the cams, they have bearings in them, and the draw length is adjustable by changing modules. Now with Hoyts, each cam can only adjust the draw length so much, so check to see how much you can adjust it. This one is featured with a RK2ATR module, whatever that means. I think it means 28 inches with this particular cam. So if you want to change the draw length on this bow, you need to buy different modules. And let's say you want to go to 31 inches, well, it's possible you can't do that on this bow because it'll only have like a 2-inch range in draw length. So just check that out before you look to buy one of these. Now what would you expect to pay for one of these bows secondhand? Now I always say secondhand bows should be about half price, and I sold a couple of these before in my shop for about $1,000, and they sold relatively quick. Now this is in good condition. There's a little mark there. The strings look like brand new. In fact, it doesn't look like he shot it, and probably didn't because he owns a whole bunch of bows. This is a hybrid cam, so you have a yoke at the top and a normal cam down the bottom. But with the Hoyt hybrid cam, you've got to ensure the cams are timed because you have a stop at the top and a stop at the bottom, and these need to hit at the same time. Now at the moment you can see on this cam there's the stop there. This is on the shortest, so 28 is the shortest, so I'm going to guess this is like a 28 to 30 inch, given that each letter is half an inch, so about 30. So the grip on this bow is like Hoyt. It's like all the Hoyts. It's a thin, narrow grip. It doesn't have the adjustability that the later modules, that the later Hoyts do, where you could plug a plastic grip in here to change the angle. Straight cable guard where you can't adjust the angles. It looks nice. To me, one of the biggest issues with selling a second-hand Hoyt is the modules, because you need the bow to be the right size for the person. And the first time I drew this bow back, it made terrible creaks, and that's probably just because this bow has not been drawn back for a number of years. So we're going to try the draw cycle out on this bow and see what it feels like to shoot. It's got a massive size D loop on here, and there's a bit of movement between the D loop. Now this time it came with a peep sight fitted on it. I fitted a whisker biscuit and a peep. Sorry, and a basic 5-pin sight. We're shooting at 18 meters here. And this bow is set at 50 pounds. So 50 pounds, 28. Now I'm about a 28.5 to 29 inch draw length. Now the draw cycle is very smooth all the way through. It's got a small valley at the end, and it feels like about a 65% let off, and I think it's actually more than that, but it feels like 65%, and there's basically no valley at the back. So it's not like one of those bows where you get back and you've got this massive 90% let off. It's not this bow. The bow does not feel fast to shoot. It feels like a target bow, and when I say a target bow, I'm not talking a fast target bow. A lot of your Hoyt podiums with the fast cams, they feel fast. This bow does not feel fast. There's no vibration in the shot. It's smooth. it feels like a slow bow to shoot. Now my pin on the target is very stable. I'm getting a little bit of this, but it's pretty good. And theoretically I should shoot quite well with this bow. I shoot pretty well with bows which are 7-inch brace heights. It feels nice to shoot. Again, it doesn't feel fast. I'd like, for a 35-inch bow, I'd like more speed. And I think the draw cycle, and Hoyt, I've watched a review on this before I did this review, and Hoyt claimed this cam is a mixed, John Dudley claimed that this cam is a mix between the GX cam and their speed cam. Now I shot one of their soft cams, I found that very aggressive. This bow is not aggressive at all. This is very soft, easy to shoot. Now there's a fair bit of wind around today, so if I don't shoot that well, it could be that, it could be the draw length. Now if you're a shop and you're thinking about buying secondhand bows, always be careful, because they're generally hard to sell, because people are not going to be looking for an old 2014 Hoyt. But sometimes they're really quick to sell because people are like, it's affordable, I'm getting a $2,500 bow for about $1,000. It's got the metal limb pockets, it's got good limbs, it's in good condition, I'm saving myself $1,500. And in fact the difference between the 2014 and the 2020 bow is minimal. And I'm going to say you're probably not going to notice any difference between the 2014 and the 2020 bow to shoot. Now when I'm drawing this bow back, I'm getting a few creaks that I'm hearing, and people are going to say, well, what are those creaks? And I get that asked all the time in the shop. So if you've got any, like between the limb pivot and the limb, if it's not lubed, you can get some noise through there, through the metal against the side. Here are the limbs, you can get noises. And basically you'd have to pull down the bow and grease it up and basically try and avoid those creaks. But overall the draw cycle is as smooth as any bow I've drawn. I'm going to say it feels as slow as any bow I've shot. There's no vibration at all, it's quiet. But like I said, it just doesn't have that speed that you'd want for a 30. To me, this is a 3D bow, and it just doesn't seem to be fast enough for the 3D archer who's guessing distances. If you've got pre-marked distances, speed really doesn't matter. But if you're guessing distances, alright, we'll go down there and have a look. But overall the bow feels great to shoot. The hand grip feels comfortable. Like there's no, some bows have got a little edge here where your thumb comes in. There's none of that. Feels completely comfortable to shoot. So let's go down and see. Okay, so down here at the target, you can see there's a couple of bad shots, and that could be wind, it could just be me shooting poorly. But I've done some good shots as well. Like that group there is tight. There's 4 arrows which are pretty tight, even the other 2 aren't bad. So it's just basically two loose shots, and there is a fair bit of wind around. So overall I feel pretty comfortable. I think the bow's as smooth to shoot as I've ever shot, and as far as my liking of shooting this bow, I'm going to put it to the top of the Hoyt bracket to shoot. I definitely find it a lot more comfortable than a lot of the current Hoyts I've shot. The draw cycle's a lot easier, but this bow is going to be a lot slower than the current bow. So if you've got that hard draw cycle to draw back, the bow's going to be faster. And this bow was just definitely so much easier to shoot. The holding was easier. It didn't feel like I wanted to rip out of my shoulder if I let the pressure off. Just felt like an easy bow to shoot to me. So overall, how would I rate this bow? So I'm going to rate this bow up against how it would compare against a new bow. So I think this bow is similar to any of your latest Hoyts. Hoyts are very dependable as far as their limbs, their risers. I don't think you're going to have any problems with this bow, so it wouldn't be worrying me buying the bow secondhand. The things that would worry me is the draw length, because I've got to buy modules. It worries me when I go to sell the bow because I need to find someone who is that draw length, or they need to buy modules to fit them when they go to sell that bow. And when I'm looking at a secondhand bow, check out the strings for signs of wear. These strings look like brand new, because otherwise you're up for a cost of a new set of strings, and the strings could cost you $200 odd. But this looks to me like brand new, so I'm pretty comfortable with this bow. And I think for someone who's got that $1,000 price point, who's looking for a target bow or for a 3D bow where it's marked, or just someone who's shooting in their backyard who doesn't want to spend $2,500, who's got that $1,000 budget and they don't want to push it to $1,400 for a new bow, I think this is pretty affordable. So it's a Hoyt Pro Edge Elite 2014 model. Quite a nice bow to shoot, but not a lot different to other Hoyts that I've shot. The hand grip feels the same. The draw cycle to me is very smooth and very easy, and that's a little bit different to a lot of especially the Hoyt target bows, which are more aggressive to draw. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and the more you shoot, the better you'll shoot, the more comfortable you become, and the better you'll shoot with whichever bow you're shooting. Thanks for watching. Bye.